You're listening to a Zodiac Psychics podcast. This is Pop Culture Life Lessons, where we talk to the experts on our platform about celebrities, their problems, and what you can learn from it all. Hello, welcome to the show. I'm Jess from Zodiac Psychics, and today I'm joined by advisor Francesca. Francesca is a clairsentient tarot reader and Reiki healer who has been on our platform since 2019. Welcome, Francesca. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, hey Jess, thank you so much for the introduction. So I've been with Zodiac Psychics since 2019, as you mentioned, and I specialize in love, career, spiritual life path. And one of my specialties that I primarily am known for is my behavior knowledge that I give to my clients, which helps them reform, transform, and heal their relationship with themselves and with others. And yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Francesca. So stick around till the end of the show, and she's going to treat us to a reading about Kim and Pete. So we're going to talk about them first, and then at the end, we'll do a little prediction for them. So in case you're not too familiar, today we're discussing Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson, and the fallout from their relationship. Just to give everyone a little recap, Kim and Pete started dating in late 2021. She hosted Saturday Night Live in October of that year. They shared a kiss on screen, and there must have been some sparks because not long after they were spotted together. And in March of 2022, they made it Instagram official. And we saw a lot of pictures on her Instagram of them together, a lot of public displays of affection, events, red carpets. He met her kids and apparently even got 4 tattoos in her honor. Then in August, 4 tattoos. That's moving fast. Then in August, they break up. It's a bit of an unexpected breakup, but is it totally surprising? Apparently, distance with him filming overseas was a problem, but tabloids cite an inside source that claims that Kim thought it would be more of a fun fling, and it got too serious too fast, which makes sense considering her divorce from Kanye West wasn't finalized until March. The same time she made an Instagram official with Pete. And as for Pete, we've seen this behavior before. He dates a lot of celebrities and gets serious fast. We look at Ariana Grande, they dated for like a month and they were engaged, and that didn't really work out. So there's a lot that people can learn from this relationship, I think both from the Kim side and the Pete side.
Right.
Francesca, what do you think like most of your customers can relate to here?
So most of my clients, they typically won't address their needs prior to the relationship. So what they typically have in common is the thrill of feeling liberated from one person and then transitioning to another. So it's basically the thrill that they feel of breaking up with someone and then thinking that the new relationship is going to be like the savior. You know, that's the pattern I typically see.
So like people after a divorce are pretty excited to move into something new. Especially if it's like a long-term relationship or marriage, something like that.
Yeah, they feel a sense of liberation and then they feel like they're going to get saved or heal in something new. However, sometimes that isn't the case.
Now we saw with like Kim, I think they like filed for divorce, her and Kanye, in like February of 2021. And by October, she was rumored to be dating Pete. So how long should someone wait after a marriage or, after the end of a marriage or the end of a long relationship before they start dating? Like, should they wait till their divorce is finalized or any time? Does that matter? I mean,
right. So I definitely believe that the duration isn't not relevant. What I believe is relevant is that the person addresses their own wounds and they integrate the lessons of their failed relationship and they learn to fulfill their own needs prior to jumping into something new. So it's going to depend on how long it takes for the person to integrate the lessons to then date. So however long that takes, it can be during separation, once the divorce is finalized. It really depends on how quickly the person integrates the lessons, because I believe that's the healthiest way to enter a new relationship.
So if someone knows what the toxic things were in their past relationship, how do they guard themselves going into another relationship that they don't fall back into those same patterns? Like, does time, is time an important factor in that regard, or it's more just about where you are personally?
Yeah, like where you are personally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, if you're integrating the previous lessons and what you needed to master, then you're able to go into the dating world or into a new relationship already mastering your wounds, already addressing your needs. So you're not going to be codependent on anyone else, and you're not going to project the previous wounds onto your new relationship or into your dating world. So it's just really about how the person feels about themselves, and how to know that you're ready to start dating is really if you ace yourself. So ace is just an abbreviation that stands for addressing your needs, your lessons, your shadows, and your emotions. C is confidently accepting yourself, loving yourself, and owning who you are. And then E, enhancing your life, your goals, and your vision. And so when you date others, you're an energetic match to who you want to attract, because in life we don't attract who we want, we actually attract who we are. So if we make sure that we are who we want to attract, who actually who we want.
Is there anything else you should consider before you start a new relationship? Like look, if we look at like Kim's case, for instance, like her ex was not happy about the relationship.
Right.
You know, so people have to consider like how my ex will feel, or how will it affect my kids, or anything like that?
I definitely feel like having empathy and just like social awareness is definitely necessary. So, you know, your reputation doesn't get tormented by the public. So that is definitely just like something that you should take into consideration. But what I fully believe that people should take into consideration after divorce before they date is to really address their needs and take responsibility to release their emotional distress in a healthy way. So developing a healthy coping mechanism to release their emotional distress so they don't use their new partner as an emotional support, because I've seen it in several cases where people use their new partner as an emotional support, and it can dilute the quality of the relationship. And it can kind of distort the chemistry.
Yeah, like you hear people talk a lot about like a rebound relationship, which almost like implies that like the next relationship you have after a big breakup is going to fail. You know, that like no one's ever, you know, someone needs a rebound before they can get into a serious relationship. But do you think that's necessarily true? Like if someone follows all of these kinds of things, you know, is that next relationship destined to fail regardless?
Well, like I said, I believe that you have to ace yourself first. So once you ace yourself, once you also address your needs, you integrate the lessons of the previous failed relationship. I believe that, you know, jumping into a rebound isn't that bad. Or let's say someone else is using you as a rebound. I just believe that you should just be realistic and objective about the situation and just stay detached, because things can switch up very quickly. You know, your desire to, you know, be intimate with someone else may change, and you may want to go back to your past, or the person that you're dealing with may want to go back to their past. So it's just about being detached and objective and realistic when you're dealing with the rebound, or if you're the rebound, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, if we look at Kim and Pete, we think maybe Pete, you know, if she did indeed think that this was a fun fling, he might not have felt the same. I mean, the tattoos are kind of indicate that maybe he thought it was a long lasting relationship. So you can see how someone in his shoes, you know, might feel pretty bad after that experience. If you think that, you know, your partner's serious, and to them it's just a fling. It's got to be a pretty tough pill to swallow.
I believe that with them, I mean, we're going to see in the reading exactly what's happening, but I definitely feel as though their rose-colored glasses level of consciousness and possibly codependency played a huge factor in as to why they separated, or as to why they're not together right now. So I just feel like they definitely rushed into it due to the thrill and due to the idea of it being something, you know, enticing, but yet the codependency could have played a factor in driving them apart. you know? So I
yeah, sorry. But like we've seen Pete do these similar things like with Ariana Grande, where, you know, they were together for a month and they were engaged and that didn't last very long. So, you know, what is that like first? And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that, you know, are that type of person where as soon as they're in a relationship, they want to lock it down and they want it to get serious. So what kind of advice do you have for people in that frame of mind?
Right. So I believe that when people are moving too fast, they have to understand that they must first build a foundation, okay, a foundation of communication with their person if they are wanting it to be long lasting. So if someone does want a long lasting, successful relationship, they have to build a solid foundation because I believe that like a relationship is like building a home. You know, you first need the foundation, the walls, and the roof in order to start installing the door and the windows. And you know if you're moving too fast, and you know when you're gonna feel ready. You know if you're moving too fast. Also, like for example, if your person wants you to meet their friends and their family, but you're not comfortable yet because the comfort or the tolerance or the trust hasn't been established yet, you'll realize, okay, I want to take it slow.
That was kind of like my next question, because, you know, we do see some relationships that happen very fast and they work. You know, some people get married and you know, they're married for a long time despite being engaged or dating for a short period. So that, how do you know if you're moving too fast? You think is sort of a feeling about how comfortable you are with certain things?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like if you're not comfortable with, for example, like going to their home yet or like meeting their friends and family, that means that you still haven't established that comfort with that person. Because when you're really comfortable with someone, you just can't wait to meet who's important in their life because you're so comfortable with who they are and how they make you feel. So yeah, I believe.
Yeah. Sorry. Like, but you know, there's people where both parties seem to be moving way too fast, and it's like everyone else on the outside of the relationship is concerned because of how fast those two are moving. So, you know, what are your thoughts on that? Like, I mean, I guess people shouldn't really get involved in other people's relationships, but sometimes we do see our friends and family moving super fast with somebody.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, both parties can want to move fast. I've been in that situation. I've seen, you know, relationships be successful if they move too fast. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I believe the way not to move so fast is to just be realistic, objective, and firm with your boundaries. You know, if you're moving too fast, if, like I said, you're not that comfortable with, you know, the experiences that your person wants you to experience with them. But the way to control the velocity of moving too fast is really just to help your person understand your perspective, and just be realistic about how quickly you guys are moving. So your person understands, okay, this is how my person wants me to move. And it's just also about understanding that, okay, if you are moving fast, okay, that means that the person is a reward and you have to use yourself and the other person as the reinforcement. So you can establish boundaries with your person by using your time and attention as the reward. So if you refrain your time and attention, that's a realistic way of not moving too fast because your person will easily comply to, you know, your boundaries without rushing. You know,
yeah,
what I
like
mean?
if you're always available, you know, and you're always answering the phone, you're always, you know, doing whatever they want to do it whenever they want to do it, then it kind of implies that you're along for the ride a little more.
So in a way, you're slowing down the process. You're not moving too fast, but you're not like scolding your person or you're not making them feel bad about moving too fast. You're just like adjusting the flow, adjusting the velocity, and they'll easily comply because they're still getting what they want, which is you.
So what kind of advice would you give to somebody in Pete's position? Someone that, you know, maybe thought that a relationship was more serious than it turned out to be, or somebody that, you know, was more into the relationship than the other person. You know, how do they move forward? I would think that would be a blow to your confidence, I suppose. Do
Sure.
you feel that?
Yeah. So the advice I would have for that type of person in Pete's situation is to really not take it personal, put things into perspective by understanding that your person, right, probably still had a lot to heal from, probably still has a lot to integrate from their failed relationship, and really has nothing to do with you. It really has to do with, the timing and understanding that if the person left you, it's due to them still needing to address things within them and in their past. So you should just use that time to reflect on what you need to address within yourself. Because if you feel heartbroken or abandoned because someone isn't ready to move forward, that means that you may still need to fulfill your own needs. You know what I mean? Because if you need someone out of like life or death, like that needy energy is actually an indication of you needing yourself. So you can transform that heartbreak into strength if you have the right perspective and mindset. So it's all about your mindset and not taking it personal.
Yes, yes. Now, if you were talking to someone more on the Kim side of things, what advice might you have for them? You had one serious relationship after your divorce, it didn't work out. Would you be telling them, okay, take some more time for yourself, or that it's okay to date, just maybe take a different approach? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so for when it comes to people that just got divorced, people that have a similarity to Kim, I would tell them to ask themselves two questions. What is it from the other person that you initially wanted? What is it that you wanted? What was your why that drove you to start dating after divorce? Was it wanting to feel validated? Was it wanting to feel worthy? Was it stemming from codependency and just needing someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it driven or was it emotionally driven? And then number two, the next question would be to ask yourself, what do I need to establish within myself so I can make sure that this time around I attract the right person? Or what do I need to address within myself so when I try to give it another chance with this previous person, I could actually establish a solid foundation so we can build a successful relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We can be successful, that's solid, that's palatable, and that has potential to build. So those are just the main two questions that I would tell those people to ask themselves.
Yeah, that's great. Now, you're going to do a reading for us about Kim and Pete. So tell me a little bit more about what kind of reading you're going to do.
So I'm going to do a tarot, oracle, and numerology and astrology reading. So I just infused everything all together.
Okay, great.
As a person, I pick up on the individual's energy. I could feel certain things. Sometimes I'll hear, but it's very vague. My abilities are still developing, but yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'm very excited. If you want to go ahead and start your reading, I'm sure everyone would love to find out what's in store for these two.
Okay, so first I'm going to go ahead and see what's going on in their connection, what house is affecting them at the moment. So this is currently. So I am seeing that right now their emotional needs are not being met. Okay, they are feeling as though they need to emotionally nurture this connection, but it's not being fulfilled. I'm going to go ahead and tap into Kim's feelings and then go to Pete's feelings about the breakup and the situation. So I am seeing that despite Kim's decision, okay, or despite Kim not feeling ready, I do see that Kim still has a lot of unconditional love for Pete. Okay. I am seeing that currently she is showing to the world, okay, and even to Pete, that she may not be interested. The way that she's presenting herself is very vague, detached, and aloof. But she is wanting to get back out there with Pete eventually. She also is very fixated on this connection. She's so romantically attached here, yet she does feel as though she needs some time to reflect on herself. She's reflecting on her wounds. She's introspecting as well on her self-image. There's a lot revolving around how she sees herself, and she may have this uncertainty about her and Pete being a thing. she may have some sort of uncertainty about their image together, but she is wanting Pete to chase her, which is very ironic. I am seeing that she does feel a little bit stuck here. She is feeling a little bit blocked in the sense when it comes to having some sort of certainty about where this connection is going. She feels very restrained because I do see that she didn't expect for Pete not to bombard her. Okay, she could have wanted that. She could have wanted the thrill of him chasing her. But since that isn't happening, she's actually now just reflecting on her own wounds, the wounds that she inflicted onto the relationship with her and Connie and her and Pete. And there's just like this whole mirroring process going on. So right now, Kim is feeling a little bit bothered because her emotional needs aren't being fulfilled by Pete. But it's due to the fact that she has departed and she has made this decision. But she is looking forward potentially for a reunion, and what she's seeking is for Pete to chase her. So let's go ahead and see how Pete is thinking and feeling about Kim and the whole breakup situation. And then we can go ahead and make a prediction to what's going to transpire between them moving forward. Yeah, so Pete is feeling very stuck. Okay, guys, he's seeking reassurance. He can be getting tarot readings. He is, he's feeling very depressed, very stuck. He doesn't know what to do. They're both coming out of codependency. So, as I mentioned in the interview with Jess, sometimes you're not ready if you're still operating from codependency. And I believe that they weren't ready because they were also operating in codependency, needing someone, needing the validation. Kim definitely wants intimacy, but she's scared of it. And P is definitely at a point where he needs to address his own needs because he's needing someone so much to the point where he's not addressing himself. He's self-sabotaging himself. So I am seeing that Pete is at a point where he feels as though he needs to write written communication to Kim to express himself, to let her know that, he's missing her. He's really reminiscing. He's still in heartbreak. Okay, I'm seeing that he's wanting to be close to her again, but he's missing her a lot and he's scared of losing her. He's scared of the future. He's still under a lot of betrayal and heartache. And he's beginning to think that it has to do with someone else. He's beginning to assume that maybe Kim put an end to this because she's into someone else or she wants something else. So he's feeling a little bit insecure or, unworthy. His worth is he's basing his worth on her basically and her communication. So I'm seeing Pete wanting to write to her. But I'm also seeing Pete go through a transformation in the mind when it comes to how he perceives the situation. And it's making him go through several epiphanies. It's making him go through a sudden change on how he should perceive this. Right now, he's perceiving it as though he should wallow in sadness and be depressed. But now he's having a sudden change of mind of thinking, hey, maybe I should take the lead. Maybe I should show her that I really want her. I really want to save this. So he's at a space where he may be wanting to express his heartfelt truths. Yeah, because Pete is also at a point where he's feeling a lot of lack of confidence, as I mentioned, and it's definitely messing with his self-esteem. There's a lot of jealousy and ego issues, and he's frustrated that the relationship has came to this. So let's go ahead and see what's going to transpire moving forward between Kim and Pete. I definitely have a feeling that it's not over between them. This is just a pause. This is just a pause. So let's go ahead and see what's going to happen moving forward, what's destined for them as well. My dices. So I am seeing that very soon they will be getting into communication. So there will be a lot of communication occurring, one-on-one communication with their imminent environment as well. But it's going to be once they both address money concerns, business matters, and their environment. So they may need to address things in their environment first. So I am seeing that by the next full moon, there's going to be heavy exchange between them. I'm seeing Pete being the one to make the gesture, him feeling a little bit guarded, a little bit hesitant, only due to the fact that, he's still a little bit bruised and wounded. There may be a level of uncertainty regarding where this is going to go, but I'm seeing them establishing a heart-to-heart conversation that's going to establish trust. It's going to rekindle their love, and it's definitely going to get them to a space of equilibrium and harmony. So I am seeing by Libra season, we may potentially see them again, rendezvousing, flinging.
That's super interesting, because I read recently that like she had only positive things to say about him. Like she didn't want to end on bad terms, and she thinks he's a great guy. So I think he could be onto something here.
Yeah.
And it sounds like if Pete's not sure, maybe he should go on to Zodiac Psychics and look for advisor Francesca for some some more confidence and some clarity.
Yeah, for sure. That would be awesome. I would love to.
Yeah, anytime, Pete. Just contact us and we'll get you a reading. Thank you so much, Francesca. That was a really super in-depth, really interesting reading.
Awesome.
And it's so cool to see what you can do. Like anybody can get a personalized tarot reading with you on our platform. Just go to Zodiac Psychics, look for advisor Francesca, and you can find her, contact her, and get your very own reading.
Yes. Yeah, and then I also have Reiki healing services and negativity and blockage removals that are very effective, especially when it comes to like business matters or communication with others. I'll bring that communication very quickly.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thanks again for joining us.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. Hopefully we'll talk to you again soon. Until next time, everyone, we send you light and love. Take care.
Bye.